Hello. I'm going to wait for a few people to get on. So last night I had a live about the temple adjustments. Maybe I should wait a few minutes for people to jump on here. I'm nervous. Oh. Let's see if people will jump on. It feels like it always takes forever to have people jump on. I always feel bad for waiting because, like, when it posts after the live, then I feel like people are stuck waiting for me to wait for people to jump on. So hopefully people will jump on. Maybe not. I see people start rolling in. All right. Maybe it's just a bad time, a Wednesday morning. Maybe that's a bad time for a live. Maybe I should have just waited until this afternoon, but hello, put your name in the comments where you're watching from. All right. People are trickling in. I can see people jumping on. So, first of all, I just want to say, so I went to the temple today, and it was just lovely. It was lovely. And, after my live last night, I got some comments, which I wasn't aware that we shouldn't talk about the changes. I don't think it's anything to do with the changes. I think I don't know. So I kind of felt bad, and I went wishy-washy of, like, do I take the video down? Do I not? And I've come to the conclusion that I don't think I said anything wrong in the video from last night, the live from last night. And I just, my whole point in doing this channel is to talk about the gospel in a good light and show YouTube and the internet that there are people who, like me, who love to live the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that is why I started this YouTube channel. And so I did a live yesterday, not knowing, but just hearing about the temple adjustments. And I did a live, and I ended up this morning, I, like, took it down for a little bit because I was like, well, like, people have said that I shouldn't talk about the adjustments, but that's, like, advice for temple workers. I don't know. Here's the thing is, I'm like, there are so many terrible videos out there that are mocking the temple, and people from I just read a comment. Thank you so much. April from Texas, I feel like you handled last night's live in a very sacred and reverent way. Thank you. Honestly, I woke up this morning to go to the temple, and I read some comments, and it's good. It's, like, really good and helpful. But here's the thing is, my heart was not in it to do wrong. In fact, I met the sweetest lady in the temple who said that she went to the temple today because of my live video from last night. And that's what I want. I want to encourage people to go to the house of the Lord and worship there. And I feel like the internet is just inundated with messages that are against the church and against the temple and against sacred things. And I want to be a light to the world. And I feel like maybe what I said last night was, I hadn't gone, I hadn't seen the adjustments, I didn't know, and so, I wanna get on today, and I just want to say, go for yourself. A lot of what I said in last night's video wasn't really accurate because I hadn't seen it for myself. Um, I will say Satan is still a part of it. Like, he is, and so um but that's the thing is until you go and see for yourself, you won't it's important to go and see for yourself, and it's important not only to go and see the adjustments, but it's important to go and worship, um, in the temple frequently, and that's another thing that I felt peace about is that, I've ever since April General Conference before then, I was kind of not the best at going to the temple because I kind of have given myself excuses, like, I have 3 little tiny kids at home, and up until April, I was breastfeeding, and anyway, like, just excuses, but ever since April General Conference, I've been trying to go to the temple at least once a month, and it just so happened that it motivated me to schedule an appointment for August. So, anyway, um, I just I put and let me say too, like, I put the video back up from last night because I feel like it can motivate people to go, and, just like that sweet lady that I saw in the temple today, she decided to go, and, because I was talking about it and because I set an appointment right then and there on that live and said, "I'm gonna go," and she's so cute, she set an appointment at the same time I did, and she didn't tell me that she did that, she just did it, and anyway, it was so cute, and I also saw David Alexander, which I thought was cool, he was in the same session as me, um, but anyway, okay, that's enough. So, yeah, Claudine Burke, she says, "I'm excited to hear what you thought about the temple." Um, something and I'm not going to, really share a lot of the changes just because I feel like if they don't want us to talk about what changed, they want people to go and see. I will just say the thing that stood out to me is what remains, and nothing, um the thing that has been consistent through all of the adjustments in the temple is the covenants and the sacredness and in fact, I feel like with each adjustment, it becomes more centered around Jesus Christ and more focused on him. And um, I felt just the love of Jesus Christ, and honestly, I kind of felt like, "Oh, did I do something wrong in my life?" Like, I was kind of feeling guilty going in, and I just loved that I felt like sometimes adjustments are needed. Not only in the temple, but I love that sometimes adjustment is needed in my life, and, um that's what this was. I can see it from last night's live, and I can see it from today, is that maybe I needed an adjustment in my life, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about the gospel. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop talking about the temple, things like that. Also, something else that I want to point out, let me get to the comments first. Okay, Cindy Lou, or I just said Cindy Lou, but Sydney Lou? Okay, anyway, she says, "Yep, we need all the positivity," and I agree. Um, Darlou says, "I love that you are seeing the beautiful fruits of your efforts to encourage righteous action in yourself and others. Thank you so much." That was like it was super rewarding for me because honestly, I was kind of beating myself up a little bit, and to see that it was her and her husband, and they both watch, my channel, and they both went, and 2 more people got their temple work done because I just mentioned that I scheduled an appointment, and so, 3 if you include myself. So, And then she says, I'm super excited to see these changes when we go to Paris Temple next month." That yes, it will be lovely. Um, and I really just love the emphasis on Jesus Christ in the temple. So, um, what was I feel like I was gonna say something. Oh, I did get a comment that I want to address. Someone mentioned that they felt uncomfortable that I was talking about the temple in such a public way. And really, I hope you guys know this by now that I try to I mean, in every video I do, I try so hard to keep sacred things sacred. And um but I think we can look to the brethren in this, in that a lot of what happens in the temple, everything that happens in the temple is sacred, but very little is actually not is told for us to not talk about specifically. And so I don't think what I said last night in my live went beyond the bounds of what we can talk about. And in fact, um a lot of a lot of the teachings in the temple come straight from the scriptures. And so anyway, that was just one thing that I did want to address, is that I think in the past people have tried not to talk about the temple, but I think that's done more harm than good, not talking about it, because for such a long time it was such a mysterious thing. And that's just not what the temple is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be some big secret. And in fact, right before I did this video, I I listened to a video from the church that the church put out, and it was Elder Christofferson and his wife walking through the temple, and they talk about everything that we do in the temple. Obviously not saying, like, the things that we're not supposed to say, but, they went to the baptismal fonts and they explained it. They went to the initiatory place and they explained it. And, anyway, I love that the church is talking about it more, and even the fact that have they have talked about the covenants, even in general conference, in a very public way. They have talked about the covenants that we make in the temple, the 5 covenants that we make in the temple. And, so anyway, okay, Temples of Jesus is here, so that's exciting. Thank you for joining. She says, "We covenant not to share signs, names, and tokens. Other stuff is okay with discretion. You are good. People in the temple People make the temple way too secretive. I think you're fine. Thank you. Thank you." Um, and like I said, I never want to, like, do anything that goes against the brethren and the prophet and apostles. And so what I say, I really try to say with respect, and just to educate and try to make it more known, because like I said, there are so many people out there on YouTube who are sharing these things, but they have left the church or whatever, and they don't care about the sacredness of the temple. And so they're talking about the temple, but they're doing so in a very irreverent way. And I think as members, we need to be better at talking about the temple in a sacred and holy way that encourages people to want to go to the temple. Okay, Temples of Jesus says, "Have you seen the temple clothing and garment public video? It's amazing." Yes, yes. That's something too that I just love, that it's yes, and I think it's also interesting to point out that people are buried in their temple clothes. And my children have gone to funerals and have seen people dressed in their temple clothes, and it's a very awesome, like, sacred way to talk about the things and why they're dressed up in that. And um so anyway, yeah, I just I think it's super important to talk about. Okay, Darlou says, I agree. We have so much to gain by sharing what and why we covenant, all while respecting our personal covenants. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah. Yeah. I love this like open discussion of the temple and I think it helps build up faith in talking about these things while, like you said, Darlou, maintaining the respectful nature of the covenants and of these sacred things. So, anyway, okay. I don't know. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I guess I just wanted to come on and apologize if people did feel like my video last night maybe went a little too far. Um, but I imagine that the church, you know, the First Presidency and Quorum of the 12, I imagine they know that word is gonna spread, that there are adjustments. And I it's probably because they don't want to, like, overwhelm temples, I don't know, and maybe they don't want people just to go to see what's changed, that too, but I don't think there's ever a wrong reason to go to the temple. Um, I think if you go I mean, granted, I think we should make a habit of going frequently to worship. I don't think we should just go whenever there's something new or something like that. Um, but I think there's good to be had anytime you go to the temple to worship there. And that's my stance. People might disagree with that. People might say like, yeah, you should like always well, I don't know. I don't know. But I just think if people feel the desire to go, then go and go and see for yourself and go and feel the love of Jesus Christ. That's something that really stood out to me today when I went to the temple is how the plan of salvation is um, taught so beautifully and um, so plainly in the temple. It is the plan of salvation really is the reason for the temples. The temple is what binds us to Jesus Christ and makes it possible for us to return to live to God with God again. And so I loved learning more, and the plan of salvation has actually been on my mind a lot, and I've said that in other videos, like, "I wanna do a video of the plan of salvation." And so today when I went to the temple and it was like, I just felt like the plan of salvation was front and center, along with Jesus Christ, and that it's Jesus Christ that makes the plan of salvation or the plan of happiness or whatever, it makes it all possible because of Jesus Christ. And so anyway, that it was just lovely. It was lovely. Even yeah. Colette says, "Thank you. I adore your sweet, earnest, and reverent enthusiasm." Thank you. You guys, honestly, I I get down on myself so much, and I think I think Satan is trying he doesn't want faithful content on the internet. He doesn't want us encouraging each other to go to the temple and to, read our scriptures and to follow the prophets and to do all these things. In fact, if he can shut down our voice, then he wins. And so that's a huge reason of why I decided to put my live from last night up again is because I just feel like not talking about the gospel in a reverent manner or in an excited way or just not talking about it at all, um, Satan is winning. He wants to quiet us. He wants he wants to put that tape around our mouth and have us feel like what we're saying isn't good enough, or what we're doing isn't good enough, or if you're going to the temple to see changes, that you're not going for the right reason, so you might as well not even go. Like, that is all, I feel like that is all Satan's tactics, because it's like, you've heard the scripture of it saying, like, Satan teaches men not to pray. And I think he does the same about other things. He does the same about anytime you try to share your testimony. But and then you're worried about offending people, or you're worried about doing something wrong. I know that I worry all the time of what I say on this channel, and if I'm doing something wrong, almost to the point where I've debated over and over and over again if I should quit doing it, because if I'm doing it wrong, then I shouldn't do it, right? But that's something that really stood out to me, is this. um I went to the temple today, and maybe it was because I wanted to see the adjustments, or maybe it's whatever. But what I learned is that God is always encouraging us to make these personal adjustments in our lives, and to change little things in our life. And so, can I be better? Yes. Do I need to worry about if I'm doing everything perfect? No. I mean, I still will, but I know that I'm not perfect, and I admit so. But I'm just trying as hard as I can to help, make living the gospel something that's joyful and something that people can be proud of. I am so proud to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I am so proud to go to the temple and to um, be able to participate in those sacred ordinances and covenants. And so, anyway, okay, we got Havenly here. Hello. She says, "We love your content and how you really connect with people as real life and lovely person, as a real life and lovely person. Satan is a liar. Keep on standing up and speaking up." Thank you. He is, and he is just so rude. Like, he just I don't know. It's so interesting how I can feel guilty for maybe putting out content that's uplifting, and yet people who are maybe under the influence of Satan can put forth really terrible things, and I doubt they feel guilty about it. Like, I doubt they feel guilty for what they put up, and if they do, then they shove it down, and whatever, and they get to a point where they're so hardened against the church that they don't care anymore. And it's like, I'm not gonna feel guilty for talking about Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ and the house of the Lord. And anyway, oh, her name is Nancy. I called her Heavenly because it's anyway, yes, Nancy. I think I knew that actually. I'm sorry, Nancy. She says, "You are ready, willing, and able, and that's all we're asked to be." Thank you so much. Okay, we got Greg here. He says, "It's important to remember that we aren't meant to be perfect now. We become perfect through Christ eventually. Your efforts help many people draw closer to Christ." Thank you. Thank you. Like, I don't mean to, like, seek out, like, validation, but I appreciate when people are so kind to validate me, because really it's hard. It's hard to be so public. I called my husband after the temple, and I said, "I feel like doing this YouTube channel puts a big kick me Post-it note on the back of my shirt." Like, I feel like, my channel is still very small compared to others, and I know that, I'm like a small fish in a big pond, which is great, because every time, like, a video gets really popular, I start to panic, because I'm like, "Ooh," because that kick me sign is, like, posted on my back, like, whether it's actually really funny. So, in one of my videos, I talked about how someone came up to me at church on Sunday and was like, "Oh, I just love your videos and all this stuff." Well, she said, "Yeah, I'm actually in your father-in-law's stake because my father-in-law is, in the stake presidency." And I was like, "Oh, no, like, please don't tell him that I do this," because it's like, I my whole family, my whole husband's whole family, they all know that I just love the gospel so much and that I love talking about it and all the things, but, like, it still embarrasses me that I'm like, "Hi, I'm gonna get on YouTube and talk about how much I love the church," and sometimes I make mistakes, and anyway, I have, like, this, like, strange fear of doing something wrong. So, anyway, it's funny, but yeah, I did. I'm like, I feel like I have a huge "kick me" sign on the back of me. Like, people are just more aware of what I'm doing, and I feel like whenever I go out in public, I have to, like, always be smiling in case someone knows me, and, like, I can't be grumpy or I can't yell at my kids. Okay, April says, as I am still working on my covenant path adjustment steps towards returning to the house of the Lord again, your live stream today and tonight have encouraged me to keep at it. Thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you. Like, that's something that my mom, and I've said this too in other videos, but my mom used to always say CTR when you get older means current temple recommend. And I love that. It doesn't really work in different languages, but, I love that idea of always being worthy or always striving to get worthy, if you're needing to make little life adjustments, but always or striving to get to that point where you can then have a current tempo recommend and how that's what CTR kind of can represent when you get older. So anyway, I love that. And then, yeah, I just, I am grateful for correction and I'm grateful for the ability to be better and to use the atonement in my life and to always, I mean, yeah, like Greg said, we're not asked to be perfect right now, but eventually we can be, and it's through Jesus Christ, and it's as we make personal adjustments as needed. And that was my takeaway from my experience today in the temple is the atonement of Jesus Christ is real, and he will let us know when personal adjustments are needed. And but don't be afraid to share your light and to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. Um, I still haven't forgotten about Elder Rasband's challenge from 2020. Yeah, that's awesome. Like, that's the thing is there are just so many good things to pursue, whether it is going to the temple and kind of making that appointment and keeping it, or reading and studying the Book of Mormon and sharing that with others, or, whatever challenge there is that helps you go closer to Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's so good. I love the gospel. I love it, and I love you guys. Thank you for being so kind and understanding, and knowing that I'm just human and that I make mistakes. And I really just want it to be known that I am just trying so hard to do what's right, and I never want to do something that is not in line with the church or the teachings or the prophets and apostles. And I I'm just working on that every day. But thank you for having grace for me. Oh, I have a kid coming in. Hi, bud. Don't. Oh, he needs to go potty, so we gotta go. Can you say hi? Yeah, his hair's crazy, and you're still in pajamas, huh? Say hi to my friends. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for being so kind. Can you say bye? Bye. Bye. You're so cute. Oh, a friend says, "Hi, little man." Can you say, "Hi, April"?
Hi.
Say, "Hi, April."
Hi, April.
Say it in a nice voice.
Hi, April.
All right, we'll talk soon.